everybody, Gannon here, back with another one of my Star Trek reviews. Do I have pants on right now? You can't tell. It is with excitement and also a bit of genuine grief that I must say Lower Decks Season 2 ends today, and with its season finale, what a beautiful season finale it was. It didn't rely on crazy references or over-the-top cameos to make it great either. This episode was just full of ups and downs, teasers to future plot points, and just even more beautiful interactions between the cast members, with not over the top, but just very sweet and wholesome return of a TNG cast member this episode. Doing it a little late today because I had a concert last night, so let's just get right into it with Season 2, Episode 10 of Lower Decks, titled First Contact. This episode starts off with Mariner finding out that Captain Freeman is actually up for a potential promotion to a new class of starship, something that she has been wanting for pretty much like the entire series. We're introduced also to Captain Sonya Gomez, who was the ensign who showed up in the TNG in the episodes Q, Who, and also the Samaritan Snare, which is appropriate because that was the episode where the Packlids were actually introduced for the first time. There's a scene in this episode where Captain Gomez helps a young ensign that falls and proclaims that she's done much worse in front of much more intimidating captains, and this is just a beautiful and absolutely wholesome reference to the fact that in the TNG she spilled a cup of hot cocoa onto Captain Picard's shirt. Just so cool to see this young TNG character now transformed into this beautiful, kind, and striking captain of a goddamn Sovereign class starship. She's actually piloting one herself, which is crazy. That's the same starship as the Enterprise E. She's just awesome, and the spitting imagery of a Star Trek captain after this episode, it is officially okay to say now that Lower Decks is a great Star Trek show, in my opinion at least. I really do like it. Also, this might be the first scene where we physically get to see Admiral Freeman in person. I'm pretty sure, I'm not like positive about that. I really want him to like be in a scene with Mariner. I want them to physically meet in person. I want to see how they interact and what kind of relationship they have. Captain Freeman basically learns that she will not get to transfer the crew of the Cerritos and that she'll be appointed a new one, which in Star Trek this is usually how these things go, unless you're a part of a goated crew like the Enterprise and you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. I don't really know why she's surprised, like this happens all the time. Young Mariner catches wind of this and gets the idea from Boimler while he's presenting his Captain Freeman Day poster, which is an obvious reference to Captain Picard Day, to alert the senior staff to this and cause a stir, and a very hilarious one at that. Everybody has a hissy fit. Billups and Shax were especially funny while doing this. Oh, and basically what the Cerritos is doing in this episode is assisting the Sovereign class ship on their first ever first contact so they can do their usual second contact duties. Tendi gets the impression early in the episode that Dr. Tiana wants to literally kick her off the ship because she's failed her in some way. Rutherford gets the idea to show her around the ship for the last time, seeing all of her favorite places, all while getting this reoccurring error the whole time on his cybernetic interface. Also, was I the only one geeking out getting to see the Sovereign class leave space dock? This show is so beautiful. The animation is great. Hats off. Basically what happens is that the Archimedes is hit by a bunch of debris created by the destruction of this unstable planet via solar flare. It creates this field of debris that's covered in an EMP effect, thus fucking up anything and taking away power and systems from just any starship that passes through it with an electromagnetic field or whatever technobabble you want to say. The Archimedes is heading towards the planet they're supposed to have first contact with, powerless, impact impeding. Meanwhile, the Cerritos was told to be on the outskirts of the solar system as to not intimidate the planet that they're actually going to visit. They don't want more than one starship showing up on a first contact mission. Captain Freeman asks her senior staff for ideas, and the third one given is by Kayshawn, where he hilariously asks if they can just simply warp through the effect, and everyone gets so pissed at him, and I literally love Kayshawn every time he opens his mouth, every moment. I still really need a Kayshawn plushie in my life. Mariner and the captain argue their way to the captain's yacht, where they quarrel because Mariner is upset the captain is leaving and that she was keeping this away from her and everyone else. Tendi and Rutherford are also in the yacht because they were there eating ice cream cream, I'm pretty sure. They wanted to go somewhere off limits as a part of their little ship reminiscing journey. Rutherford listens in onto their conversation and gets updated on the status of the ship, where he deduces a way to get through the EMP field by removing the entire outer hull of the Cerritos. The whole middle of the episode is this montage of the Cerritos crew coming together to take the hull plates off, coupled with a bunch of really nice scenes of Captain Sonya just being a great captain. There's a small hiccup when the hatch on the final panel has a malfunction, and then Billups says this really funny Hesperian curse word. I think he's like dragon's breath. It's pretty funny. The lower deckers have to release this panel manually from the inside, and there's this really funny scene where they interact with dolphin crew members that really are insistent and are really adamant on Rutherford going skinny dipping with them. Boimler goes on this dangerous dive to release the panel, while Mariner goes to the bridge to reconcile with her mom. Before this though, there's this nice scene where the lower deckers have one of those lower decker heart-to-hearts, but this time it's a little different, whereas it's Mariner's friends confidently telling her the best course of action and being reliable, insisting that they can release the panel without her help. It was just really good to see, basically. When Mariner returns to the bridge, we have an epic scene of them navigating through the debris field. Ransom is piloting manually like a first commander should, and Mariner literally flies out of the freaking windshield of the starship, which in this situation is really frightening. I can imagine the physics of this would make you just a bug waiting to be smashed against a metaphorical windshield. She's saved by, of all people, I thought it was Captain Freeman at first, the Andorian character Jennifer, who Mariner was beefing with earlier in this episode. And comically, while writing this script out for this review, by the end of this episode, Mariner and Jennifer have this heart-to-heart at the bar where you almost can feel like maybe her and Jennifer are gonna kiss or something, which, wink wink, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that. That is definitely okay with me, guys. But yeah, it's crazy that characters like Jennifer at this point have comparable screen time to some of the freaking main cast members and main senior staff characters on Discovery. It was really crazy how sometimes you feel like Discovery focuses a little bit too much on what's happening and really not enough time on the actual crew members of the ship. Discovery's not a bad show, it's just you really lack a little bit of interaction with the crew members. We still, 4 seasons in, do not get enough. Anyways, before I go to the conclusion, a couple more important details. Rutherford has to delete memories of Tendi this episode because he learns from Billups that his error that keeps on going on is a result of him having low memory storage, which is weird. Like, does this dude not have a normal conventional brain anymore to store memories? Like, does he have some kind of positronic replacement? Does he have like some kind of supplement? I don't get it. He has a hard drive in there somewhere apparently. Anyways, he has memories of Tendi triple saved, which is pretty cute, honestly. Like, Tendi and Rutherford are OTP as hell, basically already married in my eyes at this point. Total Naruto Hinata moment right there. While deleting these files, he sees a repressed memory where it's implied that Rutherford was given this implant against his will, and I got major Section 31 vibes here. Anyways, this episode ends off with the Cerritos navigating through the debris field and saving Captain Gomez and her ship from imminent death at the hands of crashing straight into a planet they're supposed to be welcoming into the Federation. Because the Archimedes is banged up, Captain Freeman actually gets to go down and do first contact for the first time herself. This is amazing, thus explaining the episode title. Such a sweet ending to not only the episode but the season, seeing the Cerritos crew and Captain earn the opportunity to finally do more than just second contact, showing that they're more than just the runt of the litter. The sweet stuff doesn't really last for long though, as at the end of the episode, Captain Freeman enters a room with Starfleet officials thinking that she's going there to turn down a promotion to stay on the Cerritos, when in actuality, she's being accused of the destruction of planet Paclid, which to me is a little bit weird, champ. You'd think that Starfleet would have been briefed on what happened there, considering they're involved with conflicts with the Paclids, and these conflicts are also serious enough to require the attention of one of their really important starships, the Titan. But, you know, whatever. Anyways, while Captain Freeman was definitely not getting a promotion this episode, Tendi does. Instead of being kicked off the ship, Dr. Tiana explains that Tendi is just too talented to be a simple medical officer and insisted that she be promoted to a path of being a chief science officer. There's this funny scene where Tiana has a boomer moment where she doesn't know who Jadzia Dax is. Tendi's like, ooh, like Jadzia Dax? She's like, no, who the hell is that? I mean, like Spot, which is just funny. I really like Dr. Tiana. After all that, in conclusion, this episode gets an easy 9 out of 10. It didn't rely on crazy cameos or crazy references. Like, we didn't see Will just show up and do bada bing, bada boo, here's the Titan, get a 9 out of 10 score. I loved seeing the Titan. This episode just had genuinely good writing. It had genuinely good animation, full of wholesome moments that just make you feel good. Like, this is a feel-good show, and there were actually some really funny comical jokes as well. And their implementation of Captain Sonya was done so brilliantly. It made me feel so good as a Star Trek fan, and I just love how this show is being produced. They're doing such a good job. 9 out of 10 episode, great season finale. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the Star Trek Lower Decks reviews with me for this season. I will be back next season for sure. Unless I die or something, I will definitely be back next season. I'm very much debating whether I want to review all the episodes of that new kids show. I honestly think for just like my mental health and the fact that I want to take time to do things like other than reviews and stuff, that I might not and just wait for Discovery to come out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. If you have anything that you want to talk about or share with me, leave it down in the comments below, please. I love reading comments. I will read it for sure, 100%, and I will get back to you in some way, whether it's just like liking the comment or something. I will get back to you. If you enjoyed the video, slap a like on it, and if you're enjoying any of the content that you see on the channel, I would be very flattered if you were to subscribe. And with all that being said, live long and prosper, and I'm gonna have to see you guys in the next one.